Welcome to From East to West, Amazon AMA, the only live podcast that has Michael Marr and Brett Bohannon on it, helping you to figure out what the hell is going on with Amazon. I feel like you could just say that question, walk into a room of people that interact with Amazon, and everyone would be like, yeah, what the hell is up with Amazon? Welcome to the show, my co-manager, Brett. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I think this is the first show that I've not opened up just laughing. I always end up just seeing your face and laughing, not because it's a funny looking face. That sounded like the worst diss in the world, but I just geek out around you because you're a funny guy to be with. So,
Sweet.
What's new in your world, man? In your Amazon world?
Learned today that I have a funny face.
You always learn something new here.
It's true. I do have a funny face.
I was trying to get you to be featured. I guess that's not how this works. Well, anyway.
What's new in my Amazon world? I don't know. I've been kind of quiet on the social lately. I don't know if that's intentional. Just kind of been over the quote unquote pissy match that sometimes social media can be in our industry. It can do wonders. It can do, I don't know, just have ups and downs with my relationship with mostly LinkedIn. But other than that, Rufus is not okay and is claiming that, everyone kind of is talking about Rufus right now. I dug into some things and noticed that Rufus, and I think a couple other people have done this as well, so I'm not taking full credit, but Rufus, if you ask it about a certain product, if you test this out on like a product with low reviews, like 50 or 30 or whatever, it will come out and say that based on reviews of over 1,000, 100 plus people like this about the product.
Well, that feels like a programming error, right? I don't know how programming generative AI works, but
yeah, significantly. So I've seen a couple other people talk about it. I posted something on LinkedIn the other day about it, like a week ago or so. So it's pretty interesting.
I've used Rufus a little bit. I actually saw, credit to Destiny with Sean, because I saw her post something about it, a video of asking it something, and it did some good work, but it was not super accurate or precise. And the answer was very often, well, I think it's this, but check with the manufacturer or do this or do this. There's a lack of definitiveness that makes it more challenging to really know. And then you're going to have to go and reference the website. You're going to have to go and reference talk to the manufacturer. You're going to have to do all these additional things that you're trying to not do when you use Rufus. And so I think we're just in the early stages. I heard someone liken generative AI to the bag phone. You used to have those big phones in a bag. Then it went to like the 90s Zach Morris cell phone. We're still in very early stages, so it's not going to be super reliable or functional. And I remember when I had a Nokia, and I think email was something that was possible in that, but you had to have a special, I think it was a SIM card or something like that. You had to have a special SIM card that allowed you to access the internet. And I just didn't have that. So I was like, oh, this seems kind of stupid. But over time, that became super accessible. And so now anybody can pretty much use it. So I just think we're in really early stages. Super hyped. I do think it's going to continue to progress. And there's some idiot that had a quote back in, it was in like 1995. And I want to say, or it could have even been 2005. And it was in 1995, because this economist said, you'll see that by 2005, the internet will have had no more of an impact on the economy than the fax machine. Which is a pretty horrible quote. I mean, it's obviously proven differently, but it's had a huge impact on the economy. But I just think we're in a very early stage, so it's hard for that stuff to be reliable.
Yeah, I actually just Googled that. There's quite a few people in 1995. Robert Metcalfe, the inventor of Ethernet, predicted that internet would collapse in 1996. He later ate a smoothie made from his column to apologize for his prediction.
Ate a smoothie made from his what?
His column? I don't know. This is Google's AI. So,
There we go.
yeah.
I mean, I get it. The social media thing that you brought up, I've been kind of quiet on there for the past year and a half. It's probably coming up on 2 years. Just been so busy in the thick of building my agency, and I'm hoping to pick my head up soon. But yeah, I mean, social has some great aspects to it. It has some negative stuff. I mean, I've been very intentional about my wife and I have been very intentional about not allowing our daughter to have access to social media. And I think she's honestly better off for it. She's not comparing herself to other people. She's not spending time, wasting time on a phone. I mean, she doesn't even have a phone. So anyway, I digress about social media, but generative AI is still very early. So
Yep. Agreed.
what
What was the other thing I was going to mention? I forgot.
I think you're going to mention that Breck is slow.
Breck is slow.
I have so many good tickers.
Oh, what I was going to mention was, I think last time we talked about the big announcement with the bullet points and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Haven't seen any case where Amazon is scrubbing bullet points yet.
Auto scrubbing is what
yeah.
Okay.
So there's a section. So everyone is still in an uproar, and I don't think people really understand. Maybe they do, and maybe it's just me not understanding what people understand. But that was a mouthful. But yeah, it is all very possible. There's a section in. Let me see here.
That is correct. There is a section.
There is a section. Oh man. No, I gotta look it up. I probably put it something.
I'm just gonna put you on the record as saying that, by the way.
Yeah, it's good. You should. Well, anyways, there's a section in Amazon that you have to download these. I can't find it right now, but
that's super helpful.
I know, but
you're looking at the quote.
You can download. Yeah.
Come on, Brock, get it together.
I can't look at the ticker.
All right,
there's a section where basically Amazon gives you, whenever I say they, if we're referencing Amazon, they give you a timeline and say, hey, here's what our suggestion edits are for whatever attributes. It's not just bullet points. I had a client, they had item form come through yesterday or a couple of days ago, and they just wanted to change it to liquid, and it wasn't a big deal. But if you don't do it by that period of time, Amazon will change based on those recommendations.
What is it they were saying they were going to change in that item form?
It was just some of the item forms were like cream, gel, whatever. Okay. And Amazon wanted to change it to liquid. Now you can disagree. And in this section, it says you can disagree and Amazon won't change it.
But you have to take action is what you're saying.
But you have to take action. And again, this section is buried.
Where how can people find this section where Amazon is suggesting updates to your product listings?
I'm going to find it right now. I will, if you want to just talk to our 1,000 people that are on right now.
Yeah. Hey, all 1,000. Oh, 1,005 now. Nice. So 1,005 people that are on. I think one thing that if Amazon's willing to change your bullet points for you, I'm almost thinking, and now we've got Rufus, we've got other generative AI. What if you just said, here's my bullet points. Here's my features. Here's the keywords I want to go for. And Amazon just writes it for you. I mean, that's kind of the direction that their AI generator is going for. But then we talked about how there are problems and how that could result in something being out of TOS. And so then that gets you in trouble. So maybe it won't actually come to that. But I just feel like bullet points are really not that important. I might be in the minority there, but I really don't think people are reading them. Like, put in your title, put in your backend search terms, put it in your images, put it in A+ content, and boom, you're done. I think you'd be fine without bullet points.
I saw something John Durkis posted the other day. I agree with him. It was bullet points are for bots, creative is for customers
People.
or conversions. Yeah.
People. Exactly. And I've got a good quote on that as well too, in case you're curious about that. It is on the screen.
Go for it. I'm looking for this.
It just says, I think you'll be fine without bullet points. My cow. I would agree with that. And I think people are where the bullet points are even situated on the PDP and on a mobile browser. No, it's so buried. It's oftentimes even below A+ content. So if people have to scroll to see that, no one is paying attention to that.
Yeah.
I actually have another thing about the PDP. I was talking with a client of mine this week. They were talking about having to scroll to see reviews. And what is if someone says, people are having to scroll to see reviews, so they're probably not really seeing them. Is there anything that we should be thinking about in regards to that? What would you respond to that? Because I had a response, and then the conversation was interesting past that point. But I'm curious, what would you say to someone if they said that?
Say it one more time.
Well, I'm having to scroll to go and look at reviews, so it feels like we're having to scroll really far down the page.
Do they not know how to click on the stars and it will go to the reviews?
So that was my statement, and a couple of people's response was like, I don't think consumers are doing that. I don't think they're clicking on it, which I think is fair. Maybe people don't know you can just click on the stars and it'll show up. I do feel like people are maybe more click friendly. Probably millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha are more likely to tap on something and get a click and think, okay, it's responsive or it's not responsive. Whereas I think a different generation who's not grown up, probably more Gen Z even, who's not grown up with a phone in their hands, is maybe not thinking about it in that way. But there is now the AI generated comments that actually show up pretty high on the page under, I think when I was looking at something, I'll check it right now, but I was looking at something yesterday, it showed up right after images and stuff. So on there, it's showing the AI generated comments about the post saying, or about the product saying, if here's like the 3 things people liked. Here's the 2 things people were just okay on. Where is it at?
There's also another, that's easy to do, but Joshua Raw actually posted this on LinkedIn. Yeah, they're a couple weeks ago, and just use the Helium 10, export the reviews, and do a quick chat GTP and be like, what's confusing about this product? What are the top 5 things customers say is confusing, So you can kind of twist it to all the different things that you're looking for.
I think that's wise, but it was less from a seller brand lens. It was more from a consumer lens. Like people aren't able to see, is there anything we should be thinking about or considering with that? I totally agree with that. We should absolutely be getting people, we should actually be utilizing an exported reviews and then being able to summarize. I know there are some softwares that do that, where they will do, like, I know ZonGuru does a love-hate version where you can take several listings and it'll give you what people love and hate about it. My preference would be an individual listing. I just want one and I want to be able to sort that, but you could also get it into a spreadsheet and then just make, adjustments from there.
Yeah. All right. I found it.
Okay. Let's talk about people, where you can find the, what would you describe this section as?
It's actually called Explore Brand Selection.
Okay.
Not very intuitive, in my opinion. But
if someone's in Seller Central right now, where would they go to find this?
There's no clear path.
So they should maybe just search. What
Amazon
is it again?
says,
Explore.
brand selection. So the best way to do it is search it in the search bar. I can give you a link that goes directly towards it too here in a sec. But essentially, it says basically on how to use new selection opportunities. You go to brand selection, or you can select add products from the catalog drop-down menu, then click learn more under explore brand selection. It's not very clear path. So under that explore brand selection has two tabs: new selection opportunities or review listing updates. And that's where that will come about, the review listing updates section. And that's where
But this looks like it's, oh, okay, I'm seeing it now. They're saying
Yeah.
in the new selection opportunities, they're saying you cannot opt out of AI recommended listing updates in the review listing update section. So it's not for your current listings, it's just for new listings. Is that right?
No, it should be for current listings. So you can't opt out of recommendations. So they're going to recommend it to you, but they're not going to upload it. So if you go to review listing updates,
Gotcha.
that's where it's going to put, hey, like, and that's where I think this verbiage is just totally weird. Everyone thought that they're just going to push it live, but that's not the case. It says you cannot opt out of AI recommended listing updates. Like, it's not going to update it. They're going to recommend that you do this. And as long as you do it, as long as you disagree with those recommendations by the certain time period, they won't post it.
Interesting. Okay. I'm wondering if it's like linked under growth opportunities or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know. It's not easy to find, that's for sure.
Well, what are your thoughts on because I'm in an account, I'm not even seeing anything loaded in. So are you seeing stuff get automatically loaded in there?
Yeah, there was one a couple days ago for a client.
Just seems like it might be a slow roll.
Yeah, it's a slow roll. I'm trying to find, let's see here. Trying to see another image. Oh yeah, here we go. So I got
you quoted on this.
Good. So new AI generated product attribute enhancement. Let's see if I can just download this image. So this is what kind of comes up for when you're on there and there is recommendations. Basically says we're piloting a new program to leverage the power of AI to generate richer product listings, and your feedback is important. Oh, this one's cut off.
Your feedback is important. Please stay on the line.
We'll get to you momentarily. Hold on. Let me go into this client real quick. I'm not prepared on any aspect. Let's see here.
Gosh, man, you're not prepared.
I know. So sorry.
Oh, I just got a notification from East to West AMA. All your Amazon questions answered is now live.
Oh,
I should tune in.
You should definitely tune in. Have you ever been on social while we're doing it? It's super funny.
Have I ever watched the live while we're on this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've looked at the YouTube version. What you mean, like on LinkedIn or X?
Yeah.
Should I be looking at X?
No, I'm just saying, like, I've done it a couple times where I'm looking for something and then I'm like, oh, there we are. Okay.
Yeah, it's meta for sure.
So you want me to read this?
Yeah, go for it.
So this is what's going to pop up, and basically it's new AI generated product attribute enrichment. So when you're under explore brand selection, and then there's like a big caution sign next to review listing updates, this is what will pop up when those recommendations come about. It says, we are piloting a new program to leverage the power of AI to generate richer product listings, and your feedback is important to us. You remain in control of the published updates, but please provide your feedback by the feedback due date. If you agree or do not respond, these updates will be published automatically once the feedback due date has elapsed.
Interesting.
You may contact support to make any changes once the due date has passed. If you disagree with the proposed changes in your feedback, the existing attribute values will persist and the updates will not be published.
Okay.
To review proposed list and updates, download the Excel files, review the updates, provide feedback within the Excel file and save. Upload your file with the feedback here by the feedback due date. Monitor the status for your submitted file for any additional action that may be required. Now that last one is kind of the kicker. They might kick the can around a little bit. What?
Break that down for us. Why is it such a kicker?
Well, monitor the status for your submitted file for any additional action that may be required. Now let's go back up and read. If you disagree with the proposed changes in your feedback, the existing attribute values will persist and the updates will not be published. Those two do not go hand in hand. So essentially they have the final say. This is what this seems like, is the Amazon has the final say if they agree with your disagreement on the changes.
If they agree with your disagreement, you mean they disagree with your disagreement?
No. So like, let's just say they're proposing that we change their bullet points because I don't know, because of reason that it has some claims in it. It's not subjective.
Okay.
Let's just say we go back and say, oh, I disagree with that, and here is why. You have to in this sheet you have to say why you disagree with it.
Okay.
Now
you have to do it in an upload. It's not just
you got to do it in an upload. So you upload it back up, and now you're monitoring the status. Now they could go, oh, well, actually, we disagree. We disagree with your disagreement of this bullet point change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they're like, well, here's our bullet point rules. So it's not really foolproof. It's more of a multi-step process that you have to do to combat Amazon from changing these.
It feels like this is just a really, like, Amazon always has tests that they're running. It feels like this is just a very new opportunity, and I don't know how functional it's going to actually be, because I think
correct,
as much as people can claim, and which is true, so I shouldn't say claim, but as much as people are upset about fees increasing, there's kind of not a lot that they can do. But if Amazon, I don't know how much bad press they're going to get on that. People talk about them on X, on LinkedIn, whatever. I don't think they care. If they start getting a bunch of listings deactivated, that is their fault. I mean, you're going to have fees, and that fees are going to get increased when you work a lot of times with the retailer. But if you are now having Amazon deactivate something that's on them, that means two things. One, bad press, and two, class action lawsuit. So I think that this is something that they would just have to be really cautious about. And I don't know who actually is going to take a class action lawsuit against Amazon. I know people have done that, and I know they prefer arbitration, and that's what it says in the contract. But I think if you have a broader case, then you could potentially, get them on something.
Yeah. So this is kind of interesting developments of what occurred about a month ago.
Here's my soundbite for this. Amazon's new bullet point AI generator, yet to be determined if it will function as needed.
That's a good soundbite.
Let's talk about the changes, or maybe not changes, but just the mass rejection of vendors this week. I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
Oh, yeah.
So for everyone that doesn't know, Amazon sent out messages to some vendors that basically said, hey, we don't want to sell your products anymore. It was more diplomatic than that. But it said, we've decided to no longer sell your products for whatever reasons, and feel free to look into third-party selling. This has happened before in a less, I would say, formal way. I mean, that feels pretty formal to me. There was a period maybe 5-6 years ago where a bunch of vendors just didn't get POs for a week or two. And it felt like Amazon was kind of testing, do we want to cut these people off? What's going to happen? And I think there have been other times when there's maybe not a mass exodus, but there have been people who got, let's call it, kicked off. And they made a big stink. and apparently they were able to stay on. But Amazon's retail business, I think, will always be around. It just feels like maybe they're kind of trimming the fat here and pushing people to third party, because that's probably where more of their profitability is.
Yeah, I wonder if there'll be a wave of layoffs in the future too.
On the vendor manager side.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know. I don't know if that will happen, but if they're trying to cut the fat on that side, and that's usually the way they do it. But yeah, I remember when that happened last time. Everyone was up in arms again. Everyone's trying to get everyone's business who might be cut off.
Lots of, hey, if you need help, I'll help you.
Yeah.
Here's what
I got your back.
I actually thought about posting this on social media, and I did not. But I feel like this is a safe place. So here's what I would put out there. In an effort of goodwill and in the spirit of helping people, I would just say, hey, if you're a vendor that recently got cut off by Amazon, I will offer my time for free to help give you some guidance on what a transition to 3P looks like. No sale on this unless you want to engage me on something, but just opportunity to take some time on my calendar, shoot me a DM, and I will send you a calendar link, and we can talk and take 30 minutes and walk through what's going on and talk through at least an initial plan. It feels like I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that would be the thing that I would post that feels a little bit at least more sincere, not just like when some other agencies have gone out of business and people are like, man, that's so sad. Well, we're here to help. Our agency does this. We're gonna help you crush it. It's just such a lazy sales pitch. It's like, really, that's all you could do is just post? Like, who actually gets business off of that? I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are your thoughts on what I was planning on posting, or what I at least thought about posting?
No, I think that's a nice and a very heartfelt way of doing it. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do.
I felt like I said a disclaimer of I'm not gonna try and sell you on anything unless you want to work with me, but that's like not a part of that does not have to be a part of this deal. Really just understand how frustrating this can be. It's almost like I likened it to when somebody has a death in their family and you're like, man, I'm so sorry to hear that. What can I do? How can I help? What can I get in? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? The best thing I think you could do, because you can't bring that person back to life. You can pray for them, but the next best thing I think is just maybe providing them with a meal. And if it's not a meal, maybe it's just a card to say, hey, so sorry for your loss. Show up to the funeral. Be a good friend. Check back into them in a month, 2 months, a year, when everything's died off. Hey, how are things still going? It's a little bit harder to do, that in this scenario, but offer a very simple, here's my give to you of how I think I can help you. Here's my offer. If it can help you, great. If not, then, move on and give me any help. That just feels like a better and more genuine solution for peeps.
Agreed. Love it.
What should people be thinking about for Fall Prime Day for BFCMs, Turkey 12, Friday night horror, whatever.
Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, game day, action, Super Bowl, Valentine's Day, Memorial Day, July 4th. What should people be thinking about for the upcoming holiday season?
I'm going to stick to my same thing I said a couple of times ago that we talked. Just keep building your brand outside of those. Do something. What? Yeah, do something for those sale events. But don't feel like you need to just go, balls to the wall. Do what makes sense.
What should you do with your balls?
Throw them at the wall.
You said don't do
balls.
That.
No, I don't. basically, yeah, I think there's a lot of noise out there when it comes to these events.
I would agree.
And it's like, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. Really, you can take all kinds of different strategies, but you should plug them into the model or the machine that you've already built that works for that particular client, your brand, etc.
Give us a
Like
tactical example of that.
well, if you're instead of okay, so for instance, for advertising, this very simple tactical strategy is instead of going after the main keyword where you're competing with multiple different things, maybe look at keywords that have done well in the past that give you high conversion rate, high ROAS, and focus on those ones instead. Instead of
the most popular ones.
Instead of competing with everyone else on the most popular ones. So be strategic about it and do what makes sense rather than, like I said, just going crazy. I don't think there's as much hype as there usually is for regular Prime Day. But yeah, I mean, no matter what you do, I mean, pay $50 for a Prime exclusive discount now, and you're going to get more visibility on your products. And again, it's a lot of that has to do with just people are kind of, oh, okay, another Prime Day is coming up, and I'll probably save some money on some products, and here are the products that I use, and I'll buy them during Prime Day. So yeah, super simple. Don't overthink it.
Wow, I'm looking at this AMA live that's happening right now.
It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. I will say I have not, if you are going after, maybe I'll just say this. Right now, in your advertising strategy, be thinking about your competitors, your direct competitors. So not everyone is going to be your competitor. If you are selling, a generic light bulb, let's say you're selling this is a really terrible start, but let's say you are selling a light bulb that is connected to an app that you can control the color or something like that. Your direct competitor is not going to be GE's basic light bulb or whoever makes a basic light bulb. So look at who your direct competitors are. And right now, a month in advance of when Fall Prime Day is, start thinking about how you can get in front of your competitors, looking at your competitor's audience and be thinking about who is in market and can I take advantage of those people that are in market. So I have not historically seen keywords perform well for a competitor. It can, but product attribute targeting, contextual targeting on the product detail page of those specific products can work wonders. You can bombard their page and show up. That's a great strategy that I've used with some brands that I think works really well. But go and be seen by those customers. Now, maybe people want to add something to their cart. They're not quite sure, but now you've seen them, you've hit them, and you're a little bit more top of mind. And then be prepared to, of course, spend on Fall Prime Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but get in front of your competitors and say, can I be more aggressive? If all you're doing is keyword targeting right now, you are missing the point of advertising. You want to build organic rank, but if someone is going and searching for a light bulb and they don't click on your product, or they click on another product, but then they see your product, they click and convert, Amazon still, there's nothing that's documented that says this, but Amazon has a reason to say, oh, well, they didn't buy this other product when they searched light bulb, but they bought this other one that they clicked on. Let's go ahead and give that higher organic ranking based on that term. Like there's greater reason to tie attribution together is my point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not just a one thing and done kind of thing. So,
but keywords just feels like super basic to me. And everyone's like, you got to rank on the right keywords. You got to rank on the right keywords. Well, yeah, of course you have to rank on the right keywords. But what else are you doing? If all you're doing is sponsored products keyword targeting, come on. Like that is seriously 2018. That is 2017, 16, early ad days. There are other ad types that you should be taking advantage of. And I've heard gurus say you can waste a lot of money on sponsored brands and sponsored display if you don't know what you're doing. the key, which is true. The key thing being, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're just running a bunch of retargeting campaigns, those could work really well. But if you're just running a bunch of generic sponsored brands, no strong brand, CTA or design, and you're going after the wrong keywords, the wrong audiences, then yeah, of course you're going to waste a lot of money because it's more exploratory. It's a little bit more consideration. I don't know if it's like totally top of funnel, but a little bit more consideration spend than the more focused like actual purchases. But there's so much inventory out there. Just, man, people are missing they're missing the train, they're missing the boat, they're missing the scooter, they're missing all the vehicles.
Missing the planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh, that's a good time to say that because it's Thanksgiving is upon us, 2 months.
Yep.
I publicly want to give thanks for you, Brett. I'm very thankful for you. And that sounds disingenuous based on the tone of my voice. But I really,
I'm thankful for you for saying that, and I'm thankful for you for saying I have a funny looking face. So thank you.
You're welcome. That's technically not what I said. I said I see your face and I laugh. I didn't say it was funny looking. It is the vibe that you give off that makes me excited to see you. But 2 months prior to Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for you.
I appreciate you being thankful for me.
I appreciate your appreciation.
I appreciate your appreciation and your appreciation of my appreciation.
Do you watch The Office? I don't remember.
All the time.
Do you remember the episode later on in like season 8 or 9 when Jim and Pam are saying, if I can speak my truth, I switched to coffee in November. Well, I appreciate you telling me that. I appreciate your appreciation. And Clark, their desk mate's like, hey, are you guys high? Because I would totally appreciate some of your kind buds. So that's what I always think of when I hear that. Anyway, I don't know, man. I don't really have anything else. Anything else you want to share with the squad? It's down to 1,002 people, but we've held a good audience. So
we lost a few. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah. Appreciate your appreciation and your time.
Yeah, anytime. And I'm gonna appreciate the appreciation. So let's keep it real out there. Get your inventory into Amazon. If you want to be selling products to people in a good delivery window on Prime Day, Fall Prime Day, and get ready for the holidays. Vendors, if you do need help, I think Brett or myself would be willing to just talk to you and give you some advice or guidance on what next steps to take, because I imagine that would be a very challenging situation to be in. And be weary or cautious when it comes to Amazon's bullet point AI generation submission.
Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, and use your gups.
There we go.
You know what that is, right?
Nope.
Your gups, whatever the directional map thing is.
Oh. I don't know. We've gone longer than a half hour. I'm starting.
GPS, gups.
Oh, okay.
It was a bad joke. All right, let's end on that.
All right.
Over and out.